My name is Larissa, and it's Friday, which means we're going to practice together for about 30 minutes. As always, it's just this opportunity to slow down, spend a little time with yourself. And of course, if you need to leave at that 15-minute marker, just set yourself a timer. But no matter how much time you have, it's just spending it with yourself with as much gentleness as you can, just observing, giving yourself the right amount of support, and then just beginning with your body. Does your body feel some ease in this moment? And if not, sometimes we can create positive tension in the body. It's maybe like raising your shoulders up on purpose and then consciously pulling them back down. Squeezing fists and then stretching out your fingers purposefully. Just taking these moments to check in. You're welcome, of course, at any time to close your eyes, set your gaze downward. And that's helpful in this slowing down. So we're not trying to stop anything. We're not trying to make our mind quit doing its thing. It's just this invitation to slow down. Very often we anchor into our body. We choose the focal point of our body so that we can really watch and listen to the wisdom of our body. So our mind is filled with so much wonderful intellect and knowledge. But our body also, maybe it's 97, 98% of us has so much wisdom. So we're just pointing our concentration in the direction of this body right here. Just bringing curiosity as you watch your breath rise and fall. As we just observe, watch our breath rising and falling. Sometimes our mind immediately moves away. So our mind is used to moving, planning, going to the future, pulling bits from the past, looking for safety. There's always this comfort in the breath. It takes some gentle practice and concentration to just invite this letting go of whatever the mind is hanging on to. And then sometimes immediately our mind is like, oh, new thing to hang on to, new thought, float, 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 wander, get stuck in a thought. And then right back here, it's just the wisdom of the body, just waiting for our mind to rest again. It's this soft place for our mind to land. So I'm looking for that little bit of softness even in your body. I soften my jaw just 5%. So that when I invite my mind back, I'm consciously inviting it back to a place of gentleness, of tenderness. And again, just that gentle concentration, just watching my breath rise and fall. Watching the wisdom of my body, just receiving life, just breath by breath. And in the receiving, there's also a giving. There's this gentle, beautiful, wonderful reciprocation with breath. So I'm receiving this life as I breathe in, and I offer back life to the greenery and grasses around me as I exhale. And there's a wisdom in that. There's a different kind of a wisdom that our intellect can think our way into. It's just this wisdom of breath, rising and falling, ebbing and flowing, big and expansive, and then soft and empty. Just breath by breath. In this slowing down, we're consciously withdrawing ourselves. For whatever time we set aside for meditation, we're withdrawing from scrolling a screen, withdrawing from external conversation, even if it's just for a moment. And we're not disassociating, we're withdrawing into the safe refuge inside. We're withdrawing into that wise part of us that can just simply watch the breath rise and fall. And it takes practice. It takes a lot of gentleness to just continue the invitation rather than being forceful. And it's this constant remembering. Every time we contact our breath, we're remembering the present again. It's just this breath right here. We can't think about 3 breaths from now because it's just this one. It's the remembering to contact the present, just in this moment. And then we forget and our mind wanders. And then the moment we notice, we just get to come back again. There's nothing wrong with the forgetting. There's nothing right about the remembering. It's all just practice. It's inviting myself to land in that soft space. And there's a cultivation in that, the concentration to find ease in that soft space. Just see if you can notice how your body invites in relaxation on this next exhale. And in that moment, like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm just remembering to find ease. I don't have to force it. My body knows exactly how to find it. I'm just remembering how to do that on this exhale. Just watching my body expand with the breath in. Then find that moment of ease as I exhale, just a softening. And we just continue working with that gentle concentration. So yeah, that's right. I'm just noticing my breath. The mind wanders, it moves, we get stuck in a story. And then right here is just the wisdom of this next exhale, inviting us to soften again. And in that way, we move with the wisdom of the 8 limbs of yoga, from the 6th limb of concentration to the 7th limb of open awareness, or meditative absorption. In order to be fully enveloped in our meditation, it does require that gentle withdrawing first. The Samapattis are 4 experiences of this open awareness, 4 layers to get to this place of full absorption of the present moment. It's pure open awareness without the construct of the mind. And the first Samapatti, or attainment, it's named as detachment or releasing from the external world with a consciousness of joy and ease. And it doesn't mean you have to make yourself feel joyful or you're doing it wrong if you don't feel easeful. It's this consciousness that joy and ease exist, and we can watch it happen every time we exhale. The joy of filling ourselves back up again with breath. It's this gentle softening from the external world, moment by moment, with a consciousness of joy and ease. Not that you have to create it or attain it, it just simply exists. And from that first part, it's a gentle withdrawing with a consciousness of joy and ease. We start to move into this concentration with a gentle softening of reason and investigation. So letting that part of our mind that wants to figure things out, why do I feel this way? What's happening next? Plan, pull something up from the past. It's with that consciousness of joy and ease that we can invite that softening of reasoning and investigation. And instead, we turn that investigatory part of the mind that wants to figure things out into that wise eye that's just curious about breathing. Just bringing our mind into the place of our body so that we can be mindful of our breath. Let the mind be full of the concentration of just simply breathing, of the joy of just simply breathing. It's just this invitation, breath by breath. In that first part, softening our experience of the external world, choosing to go inward with a consciousness of joy and ease. And remembering that this isn't about just pretending to be joyful. It's just recognizing that joy and ease exist in the breath, in the moment of presence. Thich Nhat Hanh said, when we are forgetful, we may be caught by our roots of affliction, and so we become our roots of affliction. When we are mindful, we can see our roots of affliction clearly and then transform them. This isn't about just trying to float on ease and joy. It's just remembering that joy and ease exist so that when we see those roots of suffering, we can just be with them and tend to them. And that forgetfulness, we just forget the present very often. And the moment we notice is that moment of presence again. It's just this really gentle cycle, just like the breath, just cycles. So we don't have to force our presence or our attention. We don't have to force the gentleness. It's just this constant invitation. Every time our ribs expand, it's inviting air to come rushing in. And indeed it does. Our body creates that invitation and the air works with us. And we bring in life with every breath. We're just watching. Then we would notice affliction, conflict, difficulty in the mind. We don't have to fix it in the moment. We don't have to logic our way through it. We just notice, like, oh, I'm having a moment of difficulty. I feel a little bit challenged right now. Can I take a deep breath and tend to myself before I speak? Before I allow my inner critic to speak? It's like, oh, that's, you know what? That's just an old thought. Let me come back to the breath. That ease that comes as I soften into this exhale. It's just this breath. Just this one breath, suddenly right back in the present again. Maybe inviting your body to soften again, just letting your mind land in a soft place. Again, just watching the wisdom of your body. Breath comes and goes. We don't need to cling to that big inhale. We trust the exhale and the next breath comes right back in again. There's a natural trust. There's a natural rhythm. And just watching the breath helps us soften from all of the mind stuff, even if it's just for half a second. And I'll offer again these steps or stages of moving from pointed concentration. So, oh yeah, that's right. I'm just noticing my breath. 2 seconds later, oh yeah, that's right. I'm just noticing my breath. And we just watch how our concentration moves. And we're just inviting it back. And the more we invite it back, the more we can sustain attention for a tiny bit longer. This moving from concentration into this meditative absorption, this deep awareness of the present moment. It's again that first step of just that soft withdrawal from the external world. I close my eyes for just a moment. And we do that with gentleness, with that consciousness of joy and ease. And then the second part is that we're inviting the softening of the reasoning, investigative mind. It's okay, mind. We don't need to figure anything out right now. Can we just notice what's happening in the present through the gateway of my body? This consciousness of joy and ease as we withdraw into the safe refuge. And then this softening of reasoning and investigation. And then the third part, and I remember the first time I read this, I felt a sadness because the first part says it's the passing away of joy. And my brain was immediately like, no, that's the good part. We're going to hang on to the joy. But what the sutras tell us is it's this third step. It's the passing away of joy, but allowing the sense of ease to remain. We don't need to hang on to that big feeling of, I feel good, to just allow ease to be happening. And this is softening into these layers of deep absorption in the present. And from that passing away of joy and then just the ease remains, we finally get to that fourth step. And it said it's the passing away of ease also, which brings about a state of pure equanimity, a state of pure, even balance. There's no trying to be easeful. There's no trying to watch the breath. It just simply is. And it takes first just that gentle concentration. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm just noticing my breath. So appreciating the wisdom of your body, that no matter how many times our mind wanders off and does its thing, your body is right here, just taking the next breath. Right, just landing in that soft space, watching our body, the shoulders, our jaw, find a little bit of ease on this exhale. As we start to close our time together, it's not a closing because we already created this opening of connection. So each one of us is just watching a breath. So each one of us connected in the way that we just simply breathe. But as we start to end this immediate connection, it's just this invitation to remember that the connection is always still here. We're connected in our breath, connected in the desire to find joy and ease, connected in the desire to often avoid pain, and yet it's just part of being human. And the more we can connect to the breath, the more we have spaciousness to hold, whatever comes. And I'll share here. These are the words from Jaya John, it's a delightful author and poet. Your heart is tender. Soften your life accordingly. Try not to screech at your heart when you can sing to it. Gentle your thoughts and language. Borrow the ways of light clouds and drifting feathers. Ease is a practice. Practice tenderly. And I'll read that one more time. I'll invite you to place a hand on your heart or your hands together like gratitude, whatever feels good for you. You're just listening. See if you can listen through the eye of the heart, just allowing these words to land. Your heart is tender. Soften your life accordingly. Try not to screech at your heart when you can sing to it. Gentle your thoughts and language. Borrow the ways of light clouds and drifting feathers, for ease is a practice. Practice tenderly. And with that, we'll end with a few loving kindness phrases. Just offering yourself your own well-wishing. Just repeat these phrases back if they make sense for you. May I remember that ease is a practice. May I listen to the wisdom of my breath. May I allow myself ease every time I exhale. May I practice tenderly with myself. And when action is needed, may I consciously choose to move with ease and peace. And take your time, just whenever you feel complete. Opening your eyes, finding movement in your body. And as always, just taking a moment to thank yourself, just for being here, just for showing up.